Hello there, right, I've got to do a bit of testing on ways to treat the veneer to get a good finish on it. Perry McDaniel's done a lot of work for me and did a number of tests, and he came up with a really good method of filling the grain, because unfortunately the veneer I've got is quite porous and sucks up whatever finish you put on it, and then leaves an undulating finish which isn't very nice. So Perry came up with a really good way of sealing the whole thing, using Danish oil, and then using different types of spray lacquer to build up the coat after that. Unfortunately I can't get the same spray lacquer that Perry used. I can't import it to the UK, so I'm having to use something different. So in order to make sure that it actually works before committing to it, I'm going to do a set of test pieces. So first bit is to do apply some Danish oil and then rub it down, or rather create a paste with the Danish oil and the dust that gets sanded up off of the veneer using the orbital sander, and that makes a paste that should then fill the whole thing. So I'll do that now and we'll see how it goes. That's going to need a bit more oil on that to wet it all properly and start to generate the paste. It's starting to generate. I can see little bits of it forming on there. That's looking good. It's definitely a film of paste over that, so leave that to dry for 24 hours, but I've got to do the other ones as well. That's better. Where I lifted the sander off before, it left a little patch without any of the paste on it. So that's looking pretty good. So leave that for 24 hours. Good morning. Right, I originally created the paste with the Danish oil on these things on Friday night. It's now early Sunday morning, the sun's just come up, so now I'm going to rub these down using my random orbit sander, but I'm going to do it at 180 grit and then down to 240 grit, and they've already been done at 120. That's what created the paste in the first place. So, and the reason I brought it into this workshop rather than the mucky workshop is so that I can use my dust extract system, which I've got plumbed in, and I can just clamp this on the back of my sander, and then I can extract away quite happily. But first of all I need to put the appropriate sanding disc on here, and I use these ones which are actually like a mesh, because then that allows the dust to be sucked straight through it, and you don't have to punch any special holes in it to match the holes on your particular sander. So I'll just turn the extract on and then we can have a go. There's the extract going. Wow, see how much that's actually clagged up. Just turn that fan off. Right, well that pad's actually completely filled up, except for where the holes are, where it could actually suck it straight through. So that's that one knackered, but didn't expect them to last. So onto the 240 grit, just to take it down that final little bit. and then I can leave it for a few more days to dry out before actually applying the lacquer, because as Perry pointed out, it's oil is soft, lacquer is hard. You don't want to have a hard crust over the top of something that's soft, so you need to make sure the oil's dried fully before applying the lacquer. So, fan back on again, and here we go. Turned off. And these look rather good, nice and smooth. Looks like all the porous bits have been filled nicely. So I'm now going to leave it to the oil to dry off completely. That's soaked into it for 3 days, and then I think it might give it just a final rub over with the 240 grit on the sander before actually doing the lacquer coating, just to make absolutely sure it's as smooth as it can be. Right, I shall leave those for a few days, and they do look lovely. Right then, here we are in the mucky workshop. Got my veneer test pieces here. So they've been Danish oiled, left for 3.5 days, just been sanded in the other workshop, so just brush off any dust on them, make sure they're nice and clean, and then I can apply some nitrocellulose gloss lacquer. I've got a number of different types here, well, same type, but different amounts of solids in them. So the gloss one has the maximum amount of solids, then the satin, then the semi-matte, and then the matte. The idea is to try and use the gloss one first of all to fill the grain and things, and then for the final coat I'm going to do test ones, one fully gloss, one matte, one semi-matte, one satin, just to see what the final effect is. So safety first, but I have my face mask on, so I've got these nasty fumes, and because it's coming in toward winter now, I've got my my heater on in the shed here just to warm the place up, otherwise the lacquer will never dry. There. Right then, I was planning to give this half an hour to dry, but it's actually dry within 10 minutes because the lacquer has gone sucked straight into the veneer on there, so that's lovely. So what I'm going to do is follow Perry's advice. He kindly sent me these nice foam pads with 800 grit on them, so I'll give it a rub down with this after the first coat, and then hopefully just then on the third coat, and then finally the fourth coat is the finish coat. So rub it down after the first and after the third coat, but not after the second. So that's the plan. Right then, let's give these a little sand off. It's looking good. Right. Big dust off, make sure there's no dust on those. Right then, 2 more coats with the gloss, but of course face mask on first. Right, back again. So that's coat number 2 is now dry, but I'm not going to rub it down this time. I'm just going to go straight in with coat number 3. It feels a little rougher, but not too bad. So yeah, I'll just go straight in. It does look awfully blotchy when it goes on, but it spreads nicely and appears to be giving me a fairly even coat. So I'll leave that to dry and see what it's like. Right, these are looking pretty good. I think they need another coat of gloss though before I rub it back slightly, just to make them look good. Right, so let's give that a go. Right then, these are all nice and dry now. So I'm just going to give them a rub off with the 800 grit from Perry McDaniel again. Right, these are all looking quite nice now. So, dust off. Make sure I'm happy they're all equal and there's no bias between them. They look about the same there. Pair that with that one. So let's give that a spray with gloss. I've already given these cans a good shake, so I can just clip the handle straight off onto the next one and do the rest of them. So here we go. Oops. Right, I'll leave those to dry. So I'll be leaving that overnight because it's coming out at 10 o'clock at night, so it's about time I packed it in for the night. So I'll leave those. It's warm enough in here so I can turn the heater off now. And have a look. Right, well here we have the 4 test pieces done. We have matte, semi-matte, satin and a gloss. There's not a great deal of difference between all of them. There is a very slight sheen difference, but not much in it. I shall take these, I shall trim these down first, then I shall be showing these to Shane and Peter over the weekend, and we'll see which ones they prefer.